Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Arena Talks. Today we will talk about Lucifer, the Netflix series. Lucifer is an American urban fantasy television series developed by Tom Capinos that premiered on the 25th of January 2016 and is concluded on September the 10th, 2021. It is based on a DC comic character created by Neil Gaiman, Sam Kieth, and Mike Dringenberg. The character was introduced in the comic book series The Sandman and later became the protagonist of a spin-off comic book series. Both series were published by DC Comics Vertigo's imprint. The television series was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer Television, DC Entertainment, and Warner Bros. Television. The series revolves around the story of Lucifer Morningstar, the DC Universe version of the Devil, who abandoned Hell for Los Angeles, where he runs his own nightclub named Lux and becomes a consultant to the LAPD. The assembled and supporting cast includes Lauren German as Detective Chloe Decker, Kevin Alejandro as Detective Daniel Dan Espinosa, D.B. Woodside as Amandil, Leslie M. Brandt as Mackenzie, Rachel Harris as Dr. Linda Martin, and beginning in Season 2, Amy Garcia as Ella Lopez. Filming took place primarily in Vancouver before production was relocated and entirely to Los Angeles, beginning with the third season. Lucifer Morningstar. Lord of Hell, Lucifer, after becoming bored with his life and bending his throne for 5 years, becomes a civilian consultant for the LAPD while running his own high-end nightclub called Lux. In Season 5, Alice also portrayed Lucifer's twin brother Michael, who briefly takes over his brother's identity as Lucifer. Well, in the beginning, when I started watching Lucifer, I was very skeptic. But like my experience with Riverdale and some of the other series, it became very addictive of watching the storyline evolving. And well, Lucifer Morgenstern has been very well played by Alice, and he I don't know, you can like him or you can hate him, you know. It's just like, yeah, he's just this person that can be good but is so evil as well at times. So yeah, I don't know if you really like him or hate him. And I must say, I have seen the series Sandman, and I really enjoyed watching this Lucifer. She reminds me a little bit of Captain Brianna of what's the series? I can't remember what series that was. Supposed to be one of the old English Merlin stories. I can't remember which one she played, but also it reminded me as it reminds me of like a crime detective, but that goes wrong. And although he is brilliant as a consultant, he's also very terrible with the nightlife, etc. And you know, in the way of him being a too sexual person, in a way of Of course, and we know that, of course, with the devil thing, etc. I was a little, I don't want to say scared or afraid, but it was like, you're playing with the devil, and how are they going to betray Lucifer Morgenstein, our star? And it also remembers me from Shadowhunters, like, also there is a Morgan star in it, and I was thinking, and that, sorry guys, I'm going to switch off from series right now, but that person, and it is really weird because I know that person who plays Morning Star in Shadowhunters. I know him from Star Trek Discovery. So it is very, and that's what I had with Michelle Yu as well. I know her from the old Asian martial arts movies, and she's very good. And you could see in Discovery, etc. And I have never thought in my entire life that she would be doing fantasy or sci-fi movies, etc. Although it's a little bit close to her own the old movie it's what her education was, because if you are going to the opera school in Japan, China, etc., that high quality of being on stage is and probably you have seen it. You can see it in Final Fantasy, but you also can see it, for example, in the fantasy dramas and movies and series from Korea, Japan, China, which I love, by the way. You can see that fantasy is there, but I have never thought she would play sci-fi or fantasy. Yeah, fantasy, it's a bit okay, yeah. So, Lucifer Morgenstern, in one way he is very sadistic, but he's also very sarcastic, and what I did love, and I don't know if I'm going to mention her, but the daughter of Detective Chloe Decker, I can't find her name at the moment, but her daughter had a grip on Lucifer no one has. And that little girl is sassy. I really, really, really love the way how she could wind him around her little pinky. So, Detective Chloe Decker, what can we tell about her? Her late father was an LAPD officer, and that is why she became a police officer herself. And she is a homicide detective. She solves crimes with Lucifer, who takes an interest in her upon noticing that she seems to be immune to his abilities. What was, in one way, very strange in the beginning. And although she has a few relationships during the series, I must say that in one way, I don't know, I never could tell in what mood she was or how she will react, because she, in one way she was very mature because she's homicide, but on the other hand, I couldn't put my finger on her. She was like, she's this character that I think, she struggled with daily life struggles, but also she has a lot of, what I can say, it's just, of course, the series is about Lucifer, but she also has a big main role, and in one way, they put her very well on the role she has to play, but also like as a mother or friend or the detective that she is. And I don't know, I think she has to go through a lot to be where she is in working and in being involved with Lucifer. And that ability that she is immune to of Lucifer, in one way that's very strange. And it's the thing of it's the supernatural, of course, and I think that is one thing I like about this series. I myself, I'm a very great lover, or big lover of fantasy stories that is also in this world, in our natural habitat. So I'm also a fantasy writer, and currently I have a story in my head about two homicide detectives who are an elf, a lycan and a witch. They have to they do the homicides here in our world, but they have to travel to a parallel world to solve a mystery death of a high ranking wizard. And I think they did it very well to combine those two worlds together in Lucifer. So detective, and I think Chloe has this grip on you of, she can be very tough, but she can also be very emotional and sensitive. And I think that makes her a good detective in a way. So Detective Daniel Dan Espinosa is an LAPD homicide detective and Chloe's ex-husband. He also used to work together with her. He develops a complicated friendship with Lucifer, and they often butt heads and insult each other, partly due to the fact that Lucifer and Chloe dates. Well, it's not only that, and in one way I do think he is a softie, but how he died was very I don't want to say I didn't like it, but it was more like shock. Who would expect that? And especially for the child Chloe and he has, their daughter was so sweet and good for them, and he could be the best father of the world and to her. And although he is very skeptic, but also like he is a good detective, but if it is partly about relationships, then he sucks. And I think also that he would be it's nice to see that there is someone who, I don't want to say plain a jealous ex, but more like, okay, we still work together, but can't be together as a couple. And the funny part is when Lucifer went dating Chloe, we saw a very I don't want to say jealous, but he was something that was. I think what I tried to say is that he was a character that I was thinking, he is just quote unquote, he is part of the furniture, and he is something that is there. And I don't want to say make things complicated, but more like maybe in check what Chloe has with Lucifer. Amandil is an angel and is Lucifer's older brother, and the eldest of all their siblings. He arrives in Los Angeles to encourage Lucifer to go back to hell, and failing that, he attempts to force Lucifer back in different ways. He has the first half angel, half human baby with Linda. I must say I always liked Amenil, and it was very funny when God visited the human world to get his sons back in line. That scene was very funny. And although it's nice to see that they put every godlike angel and also like they have different nationalities, and I think this is one of the few times we see God as a colored man, and I don't mean that as in a disrespectful way. I really was surprised that he would fall in love with Linda. And Linda, on the other hand, is this analytical doctor who met up with this angel. And, it's very, I don't want to say disturbing, but it is something we people can't imagine as in that would happen, because we always say angels are like heavenly creatures that will not mend with humans, and that he is even visiting Lucifer in our world. Of course, we know they will, but being active as a police officer, etc., and helping Lucifer and Chloe to solve murders, in one way it is weird, because unquote, you have two brothers who work together, and in one way that is very weird to be here in Los Angeles and be in the human world and just doing this and just trying to convince Lucifer to go back where he's come from. And one thing I have to say about their wings, I love their wings, and I know a cosplay who actually made those some of those kind of wings, but then more in a cosplay situation, and it's very great. I really love the wings. I really do. So then we have Magazine of Mexican. She is the confidence and devoted ally of Lucifer, Mace for short, and she is a demon who, having served as his head torture, following him from hell to Los Angeles, and acts as a bartender and bodyguard at Lucifer's club. In the second season, Mace looks for a new direction on Earth and becomes a bounty hunter. She marries Eve in the final season. In the fourth episode of season 5, Brand also portrays the demon, Lilith, Mace's mother and Lucifer's ex-lover. So, I always love Mace. Not because she's only portrayed as a beautiful woman, but also like this very hard chick that, many men would take advantage of her. But she just kicked their ass and saying, hello, I can be a woman, but I'm also a badass. And I think that is one thing. What is in the fantasy universe that is very, and that's what I also liked about her in this whole series, is that it's Lucifer's ally, but she becomes friends with all Lucifer's and Chloe's acquaintances and friends, and I think that's a good thing in a way. And yes, she is an assassin, but she's also like and you can see that for as in Trixie. And Trixie, and we know Trixie is the daughter of Chloe and Dan, and I think she even becomes Trixie's godmother, if I'm correct. And you see that she softened a little bit when it comes to Trixie, and I really like that. Well, Trixie, of course, is the daughter of Chloe and Dan. Her name is Beatrice Espinosa. But she is also befriended, of course, with Lucifer and Mazikeen. And she is a fun character. I really loved her. She brings humor, and even the great devil god Lucifer can't resist her. And that is so super funny. That is really, really funny. And I think she brings a great humor and thing in relationships, what we see between all the characters, the main characters. And also like I think she is one of the characters that I really like in this series. And like I said, every time she comes in view, you know it will be good. And even she can even get Lucifer to do things that Lucifer doesn't want to. And we all know that Lucifer hating kids, but once it comes to Trixie, he can't resist her. He is totally adoring her. And although he is very sarcastic and God knows else what he is telling her, Trixie is the one who also keep him and Mazikeen in line in a way that they go out of proportions and that they behave more, and you know it's really fun to see her on screen. Then we have Dr. Linda Martin, Lucifer's Stanford educated psychotherapist. In season 4, she gave birth to Charlie, a man and son, who is considered the first half-angel, half-human baby in the universe and throughout all time. You know, in one way I did like her, but she also could be very steroid-like, too much in her role as a psychotherapist. And you know, it was one of the weird combination in that she was in one way I can understand why she was there, but on the other hand I was thinking they made something very interesting up with her pairing with Amandil. And you know, it's in one way very weird because she became very good friends with Chloe, but also with Mace. And typical her to have a half angel, half human baby, that would like, I don't know, it's just, of course it's in one way normal, because if you see that how much Miss mixed race children are now on the world, in this world. Yeah, I am one of them. I'm half European, half Asia, in a way. My grandparents were from Indonesia and the Moluccan, and my other side is, well, I have been born and bred in the Netherlands, but when I did my DNA test, I've been mostly part of Scandinavia, countries from Scandinavia, and like England, and I don't really have Dutch genes in me. But I do have 2 theories about that. But that is for another story. Yeah, so it was a really bit weird what her character was going through. And I don't know, it's just like it's a character that she's there, but she isn't there. And we see her as, and that seems also for Chloe, there's I don't want to say quiet, but more like in perspective of decent person. And then she had a wild side of her. And I think that's why she ended up with Amandel. So then we also have Detective Malcolm Graham. And he has always only been in season 1. And he is a police officer who was shot prior to the beginning of the series. And he briefly died, but then is brought back from hell by Amandel to kill Lucifer. What was really, yeah, and one was shocking. So, why do you want to kill your own brother? You know, it's just, I know, in some ways, okay, yeah. But to bring somebody back from hell to get the king of the hell, if you can say it like that, back. And that was I don't want to say creepiest thing. And that was that moment that Chloe followed Lucifer back to hell, and she saw him sitting on the throne. I don't know what it was one of the clubs. I can't remember, but I think Amandel was releasing all the demons and all the dark creatures from hell to find and have provoking Lucifer to come back to hell. And there was this moment that they were terrorizing Chloe, and Lucifer came between them. And then you saw Lucifer's the real Lucifer, and in one way it was, I don't want to say weird to see him back in hell, but more like it's something I think that we normal people think about good and evil, and what is there in the underworld or hell. And in what in the series it says that Lucifer went to Los Angeles because he was bored. But I was thinking, isn't that weird to embody Lucifer like that? And why would he meant in our world? And then we have Ella Lopez. She's just been in season 2 till season 6, and I really, really, really liked her. She is a fresh brat in this whole series, like Trixie. And she's also a forensic scientist for the LAPD. Originally, she's from Detroit. And in season 3, it is revealed that Ella has been regularly visited by Lucifer's sister, Ray Asriel, the Angel of Death, after surviving a car crash in her youth. She is known for her bubbly personality and often never-ending optimism and enthusiasm. And she is, like I said, it's just in one way weird that she is a forensic scientist. And she reminds me of Abby from NCIS. She is this weird duck in the pond that you see around, and they don't belong into the whole group, but their expertise is and knowledge has to be what they needed to get things around. So I rate this series on a 8.5. I think that is fair. And if I look at the rating of IMDb is giving 8.1, so I'm close to it. And I think it's fair to say too that it's a good series. And I believe the final season is already there. I can't remember, but yeah. If you don't have ever seen it, give it a try. Quite is really, it's really a good series, and there is a lot of humor in it. Also, very sarcastic things, sarcastic humor. I can say it. Yeah. So it's a nice series to watch and just binge watch it, you know? That's all. And, yeah, I think you guys gonna like it. So, thank you for listening. And join me in 2 weeks for a new episode of Arena Talks. And the next episode is about Captain Picard in the My Captain series. You can listen, subscribe, and comment to Arena Talks on the YouTube channel or join the Facebook group. I also like to tell you about my other podcast called Girls Talking Track. And Girls Talking Track is a podcast by 2 female trackers who will recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek TNG. All the episodes will be recapped and chronically following. And Girls Talking Track is also to listen, follow, and subscribe on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or on your favorite podcast app. Every 10th episode will be a video episode, so you guys can see us when we talk about this episode. We also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook group where you can comment on the episode. I will see you in 2 weeks.